Hello guys, it's been a while since I recorded the video, and today I'm going to show you how to install Laravel 11 with Backpack, and I'm doing this using XAMPP on macOS. Why I'm using XAMPP? Because some of the students at the university are using it, and it was the first time that they are doing. I found that it's a good idea to have a recording how they could install it. Without any further ado, how I'm going to proceed? Well, the first thing is you need to check who is your user. In this case, this is my user. And in order for you to prevent issues with XAMPP, that's installed in your applications folder, and you might have some permissions because by default it will use daemon as user and group. What you could do is actually switch to using your username and the group stuff. Where is this file? If you are inside your XAMPP installation folder, in it, you should see a folder called etc. So if you open the etc folder and then you have httpd-conf, and in there, if you search for user, you could see that I already added my user. And if I do the same for group, you could see that I updated the group name. This is also pointed in an article that you could find on medium.com. By doing that, I'm making sure that the app is run as user who has access and could make adjustments. Otherwise, you could still use the demo one, but you have to make some changes and make sure that you have the correct permissions. Keep in mind that this is not production ready. This is only for teaching purposes. So if you are going to use XAMPP on macOS for any production website, please don't do that. So the next thing that you need to do is to have Composer installed. I already have Composer installed on my computer, and if I check the version of it, you could see it's a bit old, but still I have it up and running. And we are going to download now Laravel. So inside your working directory, you are searching for XAMPP files, and then you should open htdocs. And inside htdocs, you could execute Composer, create project, Laravel example app. This will go and download the latest Laravel package, and it will create a folder called example app on your computer. You could see that now it's pulling all the required packages on PHP thanks to Composer. And at the end, it will execute the installation script. You could see that it generated a key for the actual application. As I don't have any other database that's running, it created and it's going to use SQLite. And then it created migration table in the database and executed the migrations. If I open this example up now and say PHP artisan serve, what will happen is it will start a server on my local host on port 8000. And if I open the browser and open this, you will see that we have Laravel up and running. It's that easy actually to install Laravel and run Laravel using Artisan. But I don't want to use Artisan. I want to run this using XAMPP and to have my virtual host setup. In order for me to do that, the first thing that I want to do is actually uh, set up a new database that I'm going to use. I'm going to use phpMyAdmin that comes with XAMPP, but you could use something else. So in here, uh, you could open localhost /phpMyAdmin. In advance, I have already started my MySQL and Apache web servers. And I'm going to execute the following: create database Laravel-ninja. So I go to SQL, copy paste this, and when I click execute, it creates a new database for me that's called Laravel-ninja. And the next thing I need to do is actually make sure that inside my example app, the .env file has the correct settings. So if we open the .env file and if you search for DB connection, you will see that the current DB connection is SQLite. I'm going to use a IDE called Cursor AI. This is something that I'm trying now. It's AI driven and I really like it. You could see that it automatically opens the folder. So I will take the code from the article. Don't worry, the article will be linked as comment inside the video. And then what I'm changing is making sure that I'm using MySQL. I'm using localhost, the default port, the database, and I'm using root user without a password. As again, this is teaching purposes. That's why I'm not creating a user. If you want to have a specific user, yeah, you should go to the users and create one that you will use. In this case, we don't need one. We will use the default. And once you do that, the next step is to actually set up your virtual hosts. Where are the virtual hosts? If you go one step back and inside the XAMPP files, there are some settings, but actually the settings that we need are inside the XAMPP folder, inside etc. In it, we should open extra folder. By the way, it's similar on Windows. And then we're interested in httpd vhost.conf. If you open that file, you could see that I already have my -laravel.com that is going to serve files from some files, and this is laravel-2024. And I have already copy pasted the thing from the article, but I have added a new one. So in this case, my-example.com. That's pointing to where my XAMPP is installed, XAMPP file, htdocs example-app, and then /public. It's really important for you to make sure that you're pointing to public. You are not pointing to the uproot. That's a common mistake when you're working with Laravel. And also make sure that you have the correct directives for Apache. And once you do that, the next thing you need to perform is actually restart Apache server, because when you restart Apache server, it will go and reread the configuration from this file. If you don't restart Apache, it won't know that you have already updated it. So that's why you need to restart Apache. So I have already restarted Apache. And then the next thing we need to do is adjust the host file. The host file on the computer. In this case, the host file, if I open etc hosts, you see I have a lot of items, but the thing that you are interested in your etc host file is this, adding a new row pointing to localhost and saying that my-example.com is going to be served from localhost. And if you check, this is the actual row. Once you do that, this means when you try to open my-example.com, it will use the virtual host setup and it will resolve to the folder and it will try to execute Laravel. And the error that we get now is base table or view not found. So laravel-ninja.sessions does not exist. This is normal because if you go to the database, you could see that we have created an empty database, but we did not execute the migration. So in order for us to fix that, we need to go back to the place where our Laravel root is. So I'm going to some files and then htdocs, then opening example-app, and inside example-app, I'm going to run php artisan migrate. This will get the latest configuration from the .env file. It will create a migration table and it will execute the migrations for me. If I click refresh here inside PHP admin, you could see that it created a couple of tables. And now if I refresh the browser, I have Laravel that is not being served by PHP Artisan. It's actually served by XAMPP that's running on macOS, and I have a virtual host that's set up. So we now have Laravel that's installed and it's working. The next thing that we need to do is install Backpack. Backpack is a admin that you could use. It has free version, open source, and some that are paid. I'm going to use the free version. We are using this for our exercises at the university. So in order for you to install it, you need to run composer require backpack CRUD. CURAD. So make sure that you're inside your root folder. And if you run that, it will go and download all the packages. So it will download the latest ones. You could see what is installing, and then it managed to download all of them. Once these are downloaded, the next step is to actually install Backpack. In order for you to install Backpack, you need to run php artisan backpack install. I will run it in my console. Just clear and run. Make sure that if you're running Backpack install, you have correctly up and running Apache server, because if you don't have, you won't be able to pass the steps without issues, because the final step is checking the whole configuration. In this case, I'm going to leave the default theme with no changes. Then it will go and download it, waiting for it so it will be installed. Then it's asking me, do you want any admin user? No, I don't want any admin user. I will create my own. And the last thing is, if you want to use any of the paid options, in this case, we don't need the paid option. So we leave the default option, which is no, and click enter. The end result is it passed the checks, and it says if you open localhost-admin, you could access your admin panel. In this case, we don't need to do that because first, the domain is not this. The domain is different. But if you go to your my-example.com and open/admin, you see that it's now serving Backpack. And if you register, let's register like this. I'm going to use extremely strong password from 1 to 6. And when I register, I'm automatically logged in. If you go and check inside the database, the users, you could always already see the newly created user. And this is how you could easily set up Laravel with Backpack on your macOS using XAMPP. That's it. In the next tutorial, we will continue by adding some create, read, update, delete items. Thank you.